Hi, welcome to Life with the Marinos. I'm Janine Marino, and this is my husband, Jay.
Hi.
And today we're actually going to be doing a bit of a Q&A. We've gotten a ton of questions and a lot of recommendations or asks for us to do a video like this. And so we've gotten a lot of different questions from people. So we're going to answer some of those. So we travel full time. Right now, we are world schooling. We have been in South America for about 4 months now. We did Southeast Asia for a year. We RV traveled full time for a year and a little bit of things in between. So we're going to dive in. We already kind of shared a bit of our backstory and what led us to traveling and kind of how that worked in our podcast in Kingdom Life Unfiltered. So you can check that out here on the YouTube channel as well. But let's dive into it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've been all over and I wasn't always a traveler. So it took me a little bit more to break out of my shell. But now that we're here, and we spent a year in Southeast Asia, 4.5 months out in South America, like I really do love it. It really is. It's such a different it's we used to live in a cul-de-sac. Like you kind of have that light. It's like every day is the same, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is something to be said about, stability and all that, but it's just not very exciting. And so living life this way has definitely been a lot more of an adventure, and I think promotes growth in so many other areas. Like growth happens outside your comfort zone, right?
For
So
sure.
like when you start spreading that comfort zone bubble,
To a Peruvian market.
yeah, dude, you
Getting
start
a little
really,
outside your comfort zone.
and you get a better perspective. Like we get, like, if you haven't left this United States, like you kind of have an idea on how things, but you really have no clue on how like the rest of the world works.
Yeah.
And so once you really get out, you're like, oh, like I remember it was almost like my eyes were opened. I was like, this is like how everybody else is like it was wild because the United States is so unique in that it's such a melting pot of so many different cultures and blends of
Food, cuisine,
foods and
access to
people,
everything.
and you have everything. There's so much um industry, so many different companies, brands. There's so much you can get, like anything in the States
It's very comfortable.
delivered to your door, so quickly. But there's so much diversity there in so many different areas to where it wasn't until we started really getting out, you're like, oh, everybody here believes the same thing. Like that's hard to find in the
Yeah,
United States,
it is.
like a group of they all look the same, they all do the same things, you're like, wow, like a lot more tribal, it felt, in certain areas. And you have pockets of that in the States, but otherwise it's so diverse and you really have no idea, and I think the United States is still asking for more diversity. I mean, it's so diverse. It's like the most diverse place on the planet. So, but absolutely love the States. Can't wait to get back. Um, but traveling has been incredible.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so the first question we have is how do you decide where to go?
your wife tells you where you'd like
I
to go
guess I should
next.
answer this. Um, okay, so well, when we first started, and we shared this more in our like backstory, but when we first started, it was I always wanted to go to Bali. So at the time, I was 100% plant-based, mostly fruitarian, raw vegan, and they did all these like different events in Bali, and it's gorgeous,
Yeah,
right? And so
beautiful.
it became a bucket list place for me. Well, then I actually met someone that lived there, and come to find out it was a lot cheaper to live there. And so I was like, so it all kind of started as a joke of let's go to Bali. I heard it's cheaper there. And so we started there, and then it kind of molded and mended into something, because it was like, all right, let's go there. And then during rainy season. It's not rainy season in Thailand, which is also kind of close. So let's go to Thailand. There was community in Thailand. There was a community of Christian world schoolers there. So we specifically went there for that too, because we really wanted to connect with people and, have community. We were used to the RV community when we full-time RV'd. And so we kind of knew what that looked like and knew that it can get really lonely, which in South America, it kind of has. But in Southeast Asia, we were, surrounded by people. So some of that was community. Some of it was, okay, we're out here. What's close? What makes sense? And then some of it is very spirit led. Like when we were in Thailand, we served at a girls' home. And when we were there, someone was like coming to help get paperwork or something. And so we met this other couple that had an aunt that lived in the Philippines that had an orphanage. And we were like, oh, we were thinking about going to the Philippines. And so we actually ended up going to the Philippines to that orphanage. And so that was like the next step. And so some of it is that, and some of it is just, oh, we should go here because it's close. So it kind of depends. How long do you stay in each place?
Well, it depends on the place. It depends on cost of living. It depends on the infrastructure there. It depends on what is available to do there. Typically, the longer you stay, the cheaper it's going to be. Like it's cheaper to rent a place for a month than it would be like per day or per week. Also, we're a bigger family, so we typically need to like rent a vehicle.
Yeah.
So we're renting a car for the month, as opposed to like getting like other transportation. So we kind of go based on that and based on what's in the area. Yeah, it just depends. Sometimes you go somewhere, you're like, I don't want to leave. And then there's other times like, I'm ready to get out of this place. It's just
well, and sometimes you plan for it and you're kind of stuck with what you chose. And
Yeah.
so there's been times where we were places for a longer period of time than we wanted and vice versa, And so I think that I really prefer to do month stays.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work out that way. Like even when we're going to Europe next and that's going to be a little bit faster just because there's a lot to see and we have a couple of things on the calendar. We have a mission trip and then we're going to be with friends in Turkey for a while. So yeah, it just kind of depends on the situation. It depends on what we can find in the area and, all of that. But it's nice, I would say, to stay places for at least a month. And if you know that there's community there, like when we were in Vietnam, we stayed there we were there 3 months. So we traveled a little bit for a month and then we were in like one area in 2 different houses for a month each. And so that was really nice too. I really liked that. Okay, next one is, do you plan everything ahead or go with the flow?
Well, you got to plan ahead up to a point, right? Because like
the big family
places book up. Yeah. If it's just 2 people, dude, I would.
If you could do a hotel room,
Yeah,
you're probably good.
I like planning to know like kind of where you're going, but I like the spontaneity of being like, let's go over here. Yeah. Like, and a part of me like really envies those groups that are like just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, with a family of 6 total. Like, dude,
we don't need a 3-bedroom.
You got to figure out cars,
bedrooms,
transportation. Like, we need 2 vehicles to pick us up from the airport and bring us to the place because typically they're smaller vehicles. And then you figure 6 people plus 6 or 7 luggages and everybody has a backpack.
Actually,
like, so
we travel with 9. We should
9 bags. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Each of us has a backpack.
Everybody.
And then everyone's a carry-on suitcase.
Yep.
And then we have 3 checked bags. So we're going to have to like probably
in Europe, it's going to be light
that
for sure.
But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that goes into what do you look for in accommodations? We generally stay at Airbnbs. Because we really prefer, we have all boys. And so having an outdoor, I feel like I should turn this around and show you where we are. But having like a space outside is really key for us.
Yeah.
We do sometimes stay in condos or whatever, like in Rio, we did like in certain cities and stuff. That's the only option there is. Then we will, which is sometimes nice because sometimes then you have a gym and a pool, and those are nice too, but smaller spaces, less like outside time by themselves, like we definitely thrive better in house.
Prefer more country living too than city living. It's just parking, you got to find a spot for your car, whatever. There's just a lot going on in the city. Whereas out in the country, we just prefer it.
In nature.
You can run around a little bit more, there's less people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Busyness.
Okay, so how do you handle things like visas, banking, and healthcare abroad? So why don't we talk about visas and banking first?
Well, so visas obviously depends on each place. You definitely want to check out how long you can be in that country, what the costs are. So like for instance, in Thailand, you can go to Thailand on a 30-day visa, no problem. You walk in 30-day visa, no charge.
From the US at least.
Yeah. But then after 30 days, you can get an extension. So you've got to go into the immigration office, and then you go there, you get an extension for another 30 days. That costs a little bit of money. So now you got 60 days.
$30 a piece, I think.
And then if you leave the country for even just a minute and come back,
is that a day?
I don't think so. It's not. If you leave the country for even just a minute and you come back, it restarts that visa process. You get another 30 days and then you can extend. So we had to do that. They call it border.
We had to do a border run.
Border run. So you could take a
sketchy.
So like you were in
too many times though. Because
you want to be there for
visas too.
Yeah.
There is like 5-year visas
but there were times where you'd be there 30 days, we'd extend for another 30 days, and then there's this one service that would take you on a boat ride to Malaysia, a Malaysian island. Yeah. They would stamp your visa there. You'd go have dinner or whatever, boat ride back, stamp you back in, another 30 days.
Like a weekend.
You go back to the hotel. Yeah, you could do a boat ride or you'd fly into Malaysia. That Malaysia was a popular place because
Thailand too.
Malaysia is like
that was the
most like the United States. Big skyscrapers in areas, buildings. They've got
in Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur is that's a city. That's a big deal out there. Whereas when you're in the jungle of Thailand, like you kind of want to walk into a mall and grab something. Yeah, like get some
size 13.
A little different,
Find shoes.
They don't have my size in Thailand. Yeah, they don't make it.
Okay, so then banking. So banking was something that we did not research enough before we left the States, let me tell you, because we didn't realize every single time you swipe your credit card, there's foreign exchange fees. And so and also every time you go get money out of the ATM. So that was something we didn't look into at first. So I highly recommend when you travel to look into that first. There are some great credit cards that don't have foreign exchange fees. So
reimburse you if there's a card that reimburses you for ATM fees.
That's a good one too.
That's a good one to get. Schwab, those will reimburse ATM fees. Because that can add in a lot of places. Like you go to the ATM, they'll only allow you to get like $100 out of the ATM, and then it's like in some of the places, one of them, forget which country it was, but it was $13. It's Argentina, I think. It was $13 every time you go and you get money. So it's like
Argentina, actually, they recommended you go to the
Western Union. So there you'd want to go to the Western Union. I had to like send her money and then she would pick it up.
Argentina, all the money are like you get like so many bills. So I think we got like $200 or $300, and it was like a bag of.
You end up walking out like you robbed the place, dude. It was like you just won at the casino with a black bag, like $130, like this, walking out. But yeah.
Definitely, you got like stacks. But okay, so that's banking, and then healthcare. So healthcare, we actually have had Samaritan Ministries for 9 years, not 10 years, because we didn't have it when we had the twins. Because I remember, because our health insurance didn't cover one of the twins for one of the people that was in the room. on our health insurance, like Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I was so frustrated. And that's when we started looking for like other options. And so Samaritan Ministries has been a game changer. It's great for entrepreneurs. It's great for travel because you actually get reimbursed.
They cover stuff
for,
out.
and they cover it's so great. And it's for Christians. So it's really good. So we like that. Okay. What are we going to do? All right. So let's talk about homeschool. So a lot of people ask, how do you homeschool while traveling? So this has looked different for us throughout different seasons because I think at first we brought workbooks when we were in Southeast Asia. So we had like workbooks and we had some curriculum, but we didn't bring like any of the big books. So we did a little bit online, a little bit. And then the twins went to school for a little while when we were in Thailand. They went to like, it was kind of like a homeschool school, but it was cool. And then the different curriculums and stuff have kind of changed. Gavin is 100% online. He's doing high school. He's actually
really good through what's his platform again?
It's called All-in-One Homeschool. All-in-One Homeschool. It's like easy peasy. It's a Christian.
That's right.
It's free, actually.
Easy peasy. It's free, and it's
books that you can buy. I don't know if they have workbooks for
it's really good.
It's good. And he actually is like accelerated.
Especially if you have somebody who is more like willing to go at their own pace and go through and actually do the work. Like some of our kids are more like that, and some of them are like trying to get out of work, you know, so it just kind of depends on like some need more accountability. If you have a kid that's maybe doesn't need quite as much accountability on there or is older, easy peasy has been incredible.
Yeah, I do really like that. And then we also do, I mean, obviously, so we're world schooling. So a lot of the stuff we do is hands-on. So we go to museums almost everywhere we go. We always like listen and learn about all the different places we're going. We try to learn at least some of the language. I totally thought we would have learned every language, but you cannot learn every language when you're traveling this fast. It just does not happen. We learned quite a bit of Thai when we were in Thailand because we were there for 5 months. So that was a good amount of time to get immersed, and the kids were in school and all that. But we really like try to have more hands-on stuff. And then even for Gavin and stuff, like sometimes we'll give him like a project to do or a presentation. Right now he's working on a presentation about the Amazon because we've been in a couple different areas in the Amazon. So that is something that we do. We actually bought a travel printer because we really wanted more like not electronic digital screen time work for the kids. But once we ran out of ink, which was really fast because they were really excited about worksheets and also like coloring sheets, and then we couldn't find the ink anywhere.
They don't make the same ink in other countries, just a note.
Yes. We have to look into that for Europe if we're going to bring that. I don't think we're going to bring it. Probably not. So
I do like
otherwise there's lots and lots and lots of online curriculum.
Yeah.
There's lots of different things out there. Teaching textbooks is really good for math. There's lots of, I mean, there's so many options, and you can do a lot of stuff too. Like even just looking at the actual PDF of a curriculum and then like writing out the answers and stuff too. So we do kind of a combination, and then also we throw in, you know, different activities and stuff as we go. Okay. How do your kids feel about the travel lifestyle? So this actually, it varies at times. There
varies for me at times.
Same.
There are times where I'm like, I'm ready to get out of here. And there are other times, same. It's like,
that's kind of similar to them too. I know for Gavin, he really thrives when we're with community. He does have a lot of online friends, which is awesome, especially because, you know, a lot of people in this lifestyle keep in touch online. And so we've met some amazing families and lifelong friends in the World School community. But South America has been a little rough in that aspect because people seem to be much more spread out. And so if you're not finding a particular World School pop-up or something, then it can be a little dry on the community end, at least in this area, if you're not specifically going to, you know, hubs and stuff. And that just didn't work out right with our schedule.
Yeah. I also want to say though, even if you're living in the United States on a normal suburban street, you may not have very much community there either. Unless you're going to public school, maybe you've got some more friends there. If you're walking into a job, you may have some work friends, but everything we do is online. We've been fully remote before remote was cool. I run my insurance agency from my house. And even my staff, I had an office, fully staffed employees there. And they were like, dude, go home. Like, you don't even, I would just work at home. It would be better instead of driving in and all that. And I spend more time with family and everything. So, and there were times when we would live, in normal places and not really have much community there. I mean, you think about like how hard is it nowadays to get like, oh, hey, let's get together. Oh, my son, he's got a T-ball thing and,
Yeah.
and like, you can't even really get together. We've found more community on the road, either RVing around the United States
Yeah.
with those communities, right?
Yeah.
Or meeting up with community out in the road, especially in more hub stuff. And maybe we could talk about some of that.
Yeah.
Some of the hubs, the
Yeah.
world schooling hubs and things that we got together with some people there that like we met so many really cool people, man, to where now you're like talking to people with similar interests, they're business owners. And I love talking to those people like, all right, so like, tell me like, what do you got going on? Like, what are you doing?
Bestie.
It's always like some crazy, oh, I've got farms in Australia. You're like, how does that work? And it's just such a cool
It's like solar farms.
conversation with everybody. I really enjoy that community
Yeah,
too.
so we had some questions on community. One was, how do you find community on the road? So honestly, the best is Facebook groups,
Yeah.
not only for full-time RV life, which let me tell you, full-time RV life community is just another animal. It is really different because you're generally, especially in the full-time community, most people have a membership to like Thousand Trails. It's kind of like a franchise of campgrounds around the country. And so a lot of full-time families have memberships there. So you literally have community in your little campground, like where you're living. And people usually stay for like 2 to 3 weeks. And it's so cool because no one has karate or dance or t-ball or whatever. And so people aren't super busy. And so the unique part about that community is you can be like, all right, let's have a potluck tonight. And everyone will go home and make something. And then they'll just walk over with their crock pot and everyone kind of like hangs out together or has a fire together or whatever. So that was something that was really unique. So there's full-time families is a great community to be a part of. That's like a paid community where they do different pop-up little events and reunions and stuff, but they also have Facebook groups in every area. So you go to the Facebook group of the area you're in, and there's even like a chat for your campground. And so that's really unique. For Worldschooling, there's so many Worldschooling Facebook groups. We actually have one, Christian Worldschoolers on Facebook. So if you are ever looking, you can come join us on there. But also there's different ones. What is it? The
Bliss hubs.
Yeah, so a couple of friends of ours put together this Bliss Hubs, and so they have these like casual meetups, and they have different groups for like different countries. So there's one for Malaysia, there's one for Thailand, there's specifically like different areas, especially like Koh Lanta. We spent a lot of time in Koh Lanta in Thailand, and there's always a lot of people there in the winter season. So there's lots of ways, but I think Facebook groups is probably the biggest way that you find people. And then you end up in like WhatsApp chats and stuff like that. All right, let's see. Have you connected with other Christian families or churches abroad? Yes. Yes, that is one of the things that I really love about traveling is going to different Christian churches and connecting with the pastors and the missionaries there. And our goal is really, I mean, to live life on mission and to serve in different areas. In Southeast Asia, we had the opportunity to do that quite a bit. Here has been a little harder to find. I mean, we've actually been reaching out. I've reached out to quite a few orphanages and different places and never heard back from them. And so we haven't seen that as much here, but gosh, there was that church in Brazil in Manaus, which was, oh, just such a spirit-filled church.
Yeah.
And the pastor was just absolutely amazing.
Great
And
dude.
so it was really cool
He
to get to
WhatsApped me
meet
the other
him.
day too. But what's cool because like it's weird because we'll go into places and it's just the Holy Spirit making these connections. But like we literally will walk into a place and it was almost like, here's the new guys. I don't know,
Oh, that's
because
normal.
it's pretty easy for us to spot like our family.
Stick
But
out a little.
it's normally so welcoming, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even in Thailand at that church, I forget the name of it, but with Jason and Peace Church. Oh my gosh, love those guys, man.
Amazing.
They just loved on us so much, and then even brought us up on stage and prayed for us in front of everybody just for safe travels.
Yeah, because we were there for a while, visited them a lot.
Man, dude, like what a great, like you just don't see that as much, like kind of I guess in the United States. You just, I don't know, there was just something different about some of these other places that we've been. We just made some great friends.
Yeah, we made it. There was a Christian family in Argentina when we were there for a month. That was like the one little blessing bubble of Argentina was that family. The kids all made friends and we went to church together. So that was really cool. All right, let's see. Do you feel lonely or isolated? I would say, I mean, I guess we kind of went over that. Sometimes we have
Sometimes.
sometimes, yeah, there are some times where we have a little bit of a drier season. I mean, all of us, the littles, I still call them littles, but they're 6 and 10 and 10.
Yeah.
But they kind of have each other. And so I don't think that they really notice. Gavin has like his time at night with his friends where they play games online and they do that kind of thing. But I think he really wants to go back to Vietnam. He has some friends in Vietnam right now and he loves Vietnam. So that may be on the agenda at some point, but
We're so busy.
but we are busy. Yeah.
It's hard to get lonely.
We're
Yeah.
we're seeing amazing places. We just went to Machu Picchu last week. Um,
The days are busy. Like
and we talked to
there's,
people all the time all day long.
yeah, nobody's bored.
Yeah.
I haven't been bored since I was like 12. But yeah, yeah.
Okay. What do you do to create a sense of home wherever you are? Okay, so we have 9 suitcases. 9. This is how.
Bring all your stuff.
Seriously. So like we even have this like set up on like we have this little like pop-up desk for when we don't have a desk or a table. Gosh, what else do we travel with so many
We're
like
comfortable.
we are comfortable.
We
Like
bring our own spices, salt. Like, oh, I like this kind of salt. That's common.
gold salt.
Yeah, she's got her own
Oh
pillow.
my gosh. We have such like it's so funny to me what we travel with. We have like a whole bag of like our remedies and all of our supplements, all of our make wellness stuff, all of our
peptides, oil, seasonings.
We have problems. We have like an electronic that we have this microphone.
Brought our printer. Yeah, we've got Starlink. So if internet ever dies, the Starlink Mini, highly recommend that. Reach out to me, sign up underneath our link. You get a free month. So the Starlink Mini, we put the link in there for Starlink. It's an incredible system, especially
Get a free month.
I don't remember, but it was incredible that you can just be out in the middle of nowhere and get 200 megabytes download speeds. Because some places, especially South America, the internet is horrible. Wi-Fi and cellular service in some places are horrendous. So good to have that backup. That's the one thing that
technology makes him feel at home. For me, it's more my kitchen supplies. I have my own knife. We have some cutting boards.
Brought our own knife.
We have a little ninja blender for our smoothies, our protein shakes. Gosh, what else do we have? We have some quirky things. I have a zoodler, that makes the zoodles. I carry that with me. I probably won't be able to bring that here. I know, but I love it. There's just that you have some things. We
bring too much.
We probably bring,
and that's probably why it's so, but we're also moving into a house for like a month. Right. Like if you're gonna do hotels, maybe you don't have as big of a family, probably go out to eat a little bit more often. We did that a little bit more in Southeast Asia, but we're like
Eat right
legit,
too.
yeah. But we're like legit going to the market, getting our vegetables, our fruits. We're getting you go to the butcher, get your meats, bring them back. So like you kind of need
Yeah.
your stuff a
We'll
little
have to
bit.
do a video just on the Peruvian market, but with a big fat warning on the front.
We have our own
Like,
cutting board. So I mean, you kind of need some of those things,
yeah.
especially if you're cooking for this many people, because otherwise it's kind of hard,
Yeah. Yeah. So cooking at home and we have home days. I mean, we have days where it's just a work and school day and we do laundry and we do normal things.
We
I
bring our
will
own
say
laundry detergent.
we have like those laundry sheets.
Laundry sheets are the way
But
to go.
we have definitely seen a shift in the different places we go to, like what life looks like. Like when we were in Southeast Asia, we always, everywhere we stayed, we had someone cleaning.
Mm.
Almost every other place, we didn't do our own
Oh
laundry.
yeah. I miss
Most places it was cheaper to eat out than it was to cook. You didn't always have cooking supplies, which is why I bring my kitchen with me. Whereas South America is not like that at all. We haven't had anywhere where we've had someone come clean. I
no
don't think.
Argentina once a week.
Oh, that's right. Yes, they did come clean once a week. But everywhere else, we clean up. Our kids have chores. We do our own,
God
dishes,
bless
our own
Southeast
laundry,
Asia.
our own. Yeah, I didn't miss
Is it,
that.
dude? Laundry, you drop it off. It's like $4, and
Yeah.
you get it back folded, smells
Yeah,
nice, cleaned, all bagged
and one
up.
time in Brazil, we had
Oh
to go get
man,
our laundry done.
it was like
It's
50
like
bucks,
$50. It was
$50.
a lot of laundry, but still, it's definitely a big difference. So yeah, I think we feel at home everywhere we go. Honestly, it's funny,
You
even
move
when
it.
we went to we like left for 2 nights to go to Machu Picchu because you have to like take a train there and then a bus and it's kind of out there. And so we left this house and went there for 2 days and then came back and everyone was all excited to come
Come
home.
back.
And we're only here for 3 weeks, but it feels like home. I mean, there have been some places though, that have not felt so much like home and have been a little bit tougher to, like, we didn't have, and this was mostly South America. I think Southeast Asia, we were pretty comfortable everywhere we were. I can't think of a place that we were like not happy. But here, there was a whole month we didn't have hot water. We didn't get hot showers for a month because there was just no hot water heaters. And there were some places that didn't have AC. It was really hot. There were some places that there was cracks like everywhere. So there was mosquitoes always. And that was like right outside the Amazon. That was a little hard. There's been some that have been like decent houses, but in like not so nice areas that not that we felt unsafe, but um just
They
weren't my
weren't the
favorite.
best. We would get cautioned.
Yes.
We talked to be like, yeah, make sure you lock your
Yeah,
doors.
yeah.
Yeah, make sure you don't
There's
do
some
that.
curious people around. Make
Yeah,
sure that the
okay,
gate's locked.
got it.
So yeah, there's definitely been, but I mean, I don't think that we've ever really felt super unsafe anywhere. I think there was a couple of times, I mean, maybe in Florida, there was a spot we stayed in Florida in an Airbnb that was really a rough
Most
experience for our
unsafe places
kids.
have been in the United States
Yeah.
where
And
we've
we
been.
grew up outside of Chicago too. So
We did get robbed by the police in Peru.
that was not a bad situation. The guy was so nice. He was so
A
nice.
nice thief.
He did take all of our money. So
Very nice. Well, he's happy. He's probably making 500,000 a year,
oh my goodness.
robbing people
Okay.
at a stop.
So many questions.
So
All
many
right.
questions. Okay.
All right, let's go into this one and then maybe we'll do part two. Okay. So favorite country so far and why?
Hmm. I think we pretty much all agree that Thailand and Vietnam have just been our favorite places. The community, for one, you can find
Yeah.
people there like
Yeah.
all over that
Yeah.
are from all over the
A
world
lot of
that are
expats.
incredible.
Yeah.
You can eat for like $2, really good food.
Yeah.
Be aware
Food
of
is
putting
good.
on weight, and it
MSG.
tastes
Watch out for
delicious.
MSG.
You can like live right on the beach for like cheap.
Yeah.
The people are very
Very
accommodating,
nice.
hospitable,
Yeah.
like they're running like a how can we take care of you type of business,
Yeah.
and you feel taken care of.
Right.
Whereas some places you walk in, they don't really care whether you're there or not. Like
Yeah.
you're just not, you know. Um,
The people
so
are so sweet. It's like it feels so safe. They
yeah,
love kids.
right.
They're so good to kids. Like, gosh, I remember when we got back from Southeast Asia back into the States, it was almost like a reverse culture shock
Mm,
because like our kids got yelled at for like trying to get the suitcase off the line. They should move back and not touch and all these things. And I don't know, in Thailand, I just felt like they saw kids, they were sweet to kids, they let kids be kids. It just was it was a way different vibe. I
well,
don't
and
know.
so like, you know, you might have somebody riding a scooter and you'll see the dad, the mom, there's a kid on the back and then a kid on the front. And then
Like a baby
she
in the middle.
is carrying like a bunch of bananas or something. And you're watching this scooter drive down, no helmets, no, just, they're
Yeah.
just, the whole family is on this scooter cruising with all this stuff going on. You know, you just, that's just
It's a
that's
different life.
that's just normal.
Yeah.
Whereas you would get arrested and your kids would be taken from you if you did that in California.
Totally. Yeah.
Like you wouldn't see your kids again. If they somebody saw you do that, that's the end of it. So there's none of this nanny type of like, "Oh, don't do that, you're gonna get injured." You know, it's like
Yeah.
we're so bubbled, you know, nowadays you can't even do anything. Like I think about even how things were when we were kids, like you do whatever you wanted, it seems. But but what I mean to say by all this is there's a freeing bit of like you don't feel like you're being judged and watched all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a
It's
better.
interesting. When we were in the States, I cannot tell you how often we would go to a restaurant. And when people would get up to leave, they would come tell us how well behaved our boys, how shocked they were or surprised at how well behaved our boys were. Because we have all boys and we have little boys, you know, and especially back then we had a lot of little boys. And they would always expect that they were going to like act bad or something at the restaurant. And it, I mean, it was sweet of them to say that, but it was also like, really? You're gonna like expect it to be a bad situation? Like, there's just a different tolerance, I think, in those areas for kids to be kids, and they like enjoy it. They like, oh, it's just so sweet to like. I mean, even our people review us on Airbnb, and so many times they're like, "Oh, that's sweet, boys." Sometimes they'd say boys and girls because our boys always
They
have
still have long hair.
these.
Yeah.
So, but they would always like just like love, you know, that they'd play outside and they'd, you know, whatever. But anyways, so all right. Most breathtaking experience you've had on this journey.
I think Patagonia,
Okay.
Torres del Paine,
Yeah.
some of those areas, just seeing the glacial water, you know, and I've seen so many pictures online. I had Torres del Paine as a screensaver on my computer for like a year. And just so I've looked at it for a long time. And so seeing it in person was it was incredible. As far as views go and what we've seen. And then the Perito Marino Glacier too
Mm,
was another one where you're seeing just this glacier that's like 3 stories tall and just
that was really cool. That
so
was really
cool,
unique.
man.
Yeah.
So cool. Like you're
Yeah.
literally like near Antarctica, the bottom of South America,
Yeah.
and it's just really, really cool stuff. Views there were incredible. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, in South America, I would say those two plus Machu Picchu.
Machu
Machu
Picchu
Picchu is
is
pretty epic. But I don't know, like those, there were so many spots in Thailand and Vietnam, like just on the water, like with the karsts and stuff. Like when we were in Halong Bay, that was like breathtaking to me. Like, oh gosh, especially like swimming in Halong Bay or like kayaking in Halong Bay. That was like pretty epic. I really
Mm.
liked that. Or some of the uh places we went in Thailand, some of the like remote islands and stuff on some of the island tours. Those there were some spots there that were really breathtaking too. So I don't know, it's so hard. I feel like there's somewhere awesome like most places, you know.
And that's what we really liked too about Southeast Asia. You could get a boat and somebody to drive you and go island hopping or go snorkeling with like sharks or whatever. For like our whole family, it'd be like $60. It's
Yeah.
like $10 a head. You're out all day,
Yeah.
and then they take care of lunch for you. You get out there, you got lunch out all day,
Yeah.
out in the
We
boat.
were well fed there.
You got internet service, 5G internet service out on the boat, out in the water. Like it was just day trips and like exploring. It's really hard to beat that area and that space. Where you go do that somewhere else, it's like $100 a head
Yeah,
as opposed to like $10 a head. Um,
it's true. That
but
was
that's
pretty cool.
part of the reason why we like that area too.
All
Just
right. So
value.
I think I'm going to wrap it up because this is getting
You
kind of
got the last
long. Well, okay. So we're going to do a part two.
best
We're
food.
going to dive more into like food.
We could talk about
We could
food
talk
for a
about food for a long time.
long time.
More about like our faith on this journey, how we can afford this, and how we work, and all of those things. Like, what does our regular day look like? So, yeah, we'll get into all of that stuff in part two. So, follow along, and we'll see you in part two. And if you have any additional questions, pop them into the comments, and we'll add them to our list. All right. Hope you all have a good day.